Alrighty, so today we're going to be looking at Unit 2, Notes number 3, and we're going to be multiplying more polynomials. So we looked at multiplying polynomials in the last set of notes, so we're just going to kind of be building on that skill. So today I will be able to multiply polynomials, which is basically what we did in the last set of notes, but we're just building on this a little bit. Okay, so first, just some brief vocab. Okay, so just a different way we can describe our polynomials is by the number of terms. Okay, so we can describe them using the number of terms. Okay, so remember, a term is just like a specific piece. Like if we looked at this, this would be 1, 2 terms right there. Okay, so if something had one term, so it was just like 3x, one term, one piece, that would be called a monomial. If something had two terms, so 4x squared minus 2, that's 1, 2 terms, that's going to be a binomial. Think of like bicycle, binomial. Okay. If there's 3 terms, that's going to look like 3x squared minus 2x plus 8. That's 1, 2, 3 terms. Anytime there are 3 terms like that, that's going to be, well, if this was bicycle, then this is going to be a trinomial. Think of a tricycle. Okay, so 2 terms was a binomial, 3 terms was a trinomial. And then last but not least, 4 terms, and this is going to be 4 terms or more. So anytime there are 4 terms or more, so that could be, I'll give you a quick example, 4x cubed minus 6x squared plus 7x plus 13. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Anytime there are 4 or more, that's going to be a polynomial. All right. So we're just going to be practicing multiplying all these together. So if we look at this first one, this is just a review from our last set of notes. This is 2 binomials because I've got 1, 2, and 1, 2. So 2 binomials being multiplied together. Okay, remember this is where we have to use our extended distribution. Okay, so we're going to distribute our 3x to everything. So 3x times x gives us 3x squared. And 3x times 2 gives us 3 times 2 gives us 6x. Then we're going to distribute to the negative 4. So negative 4 times x gives us negative 4x. And negative 4 times 2 gives us negative 8. Now from here, we need to combine some like terms. So the 3x squared just hangs out up front. 6x minus 4x gives me plus 2x minus 8. So this should just be a review from last time. Looking at the next one, we have x plus 7 squared. Remember, anytime we have something that's squared, we have to deal with that first. So we're going to start by rewriting this as x plus 7 times x plus 7. Okay, because remember, if we have something squared, that just means we repeat it twice. So now we can distribute just like we did over here. So we're going to distribute the x to everything. X times x gives me x squared. And x times 7 gives me plus 7x. And then distribute the 7. So 7 times x gives me plus 7x. 7 times 7 gives me plus 49. Combine our like terms, and we'll have x squared. 7 plus 7 gives me plus 14x plus 49. All right, so just a reminder, what are we doing to the coefficients? If you looked at those coefficients, we just multiply them, we treat them like normal. And what do we do to the exponents? We add the exponents. All right, so now we're going to look at a few that have a few extra steps. And if you'll look at these, they're not just our binomials. They have maybe the plus 2, or we have an extra coefficient. So we're going to look at these that have just a few extra steps. So if I look at this first one, we have x plus 5 squared plus 2. We still have to deal with the exponent first. So we're going to have x plus 5, x plus 5. Then we just bring down the plus 2. Now from here, we're just going to distribute everything together. So we're going to distribute the x's and the 5's. So x times x gives me x squared, and x times 5 gives me plus 5x. 5 times x gives me plus 5x. And 5 times 5 gives me plus 25. And then we bring down the plus 2. So now we just need to combine like terms, just like we did in our last set of notes. So I have the 5x, but now I also have the 25 and the 2. So I'll have x squared. 5x plus 5x gives me plus 10x. And 25 plus 2 gives me plus 27. There we go. All right, let's look at the next one. Same thing, only now we have a coefficient. So we have 3 times 2x minus 1 squared. Same thing, we still have to deal with that squared first. So that 3 is going to stay up front. And I'll have 2x minus 1, and then 2x minus 1. Awesome. So now we have to do some multiplication. Well, notice we just have this 3 out front. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just distribute the 3 to everything. Okay, we only distribute to the first binomial. You only distribute to the first one. You never distribute to the second one. So it's going to be 3 times 2 gives me 6x. 3 times negative 1 gives me negative 3. And then we'll have 2x minus 1. See, so this one just stayed the same. Okay, it didn't change. We just distributed the 3. So from here, we're going to now use our extended distribution and distribute everything together. So I'll have 6x distributed first. 6x times the 2x gives me 12x squared. 6x times the negative 1 gives me negative 6x. Notice we're multiplying our coefficients, just adding those exponents. Then negative 3 times 2x gives me negative 6x again. And negative 3 times the negative 1, remember when we multiply those two negatives together, it gives us a plus 3. Now we're going to have to combine like terms. So 12x squared. Negative 6 minus 6 gives me negative 12x plus 3. All right. Well, darn, guys. I did not even see the classify by. Obviously, I did not scroll far enough. I'm so sorry. And I made these notes too. So this is all on me. So if we look at our first problem, okay, we had x squared plus 10x plus 2. The first one wanted us to classify it by degree. So remember, degree is the largest exponent. Okay, so we're looking for the largest exponent, which happens to be a 2. So since it's a 2, if you look at that table that we use to classify our polynomials, if it's a 2, it's going to be quadratic. Then by the number of terms, that's looking at this table up here. Okay, so if we look at this as 1, 2, 3 terms, so 3 terms is going to be a trinomial. All right, classifying the second answer that we had. Again, the degree is the largest exponent. So if we look at this, our largest exponent is a 2. So that also means quadratic. And then the number of terms, we have 1, 2, 3 terms, so we have a trinomial. All right, let's skip to the back. All right, so number 3, we have negative 2x times 5x plus 3, and then x plus 2. Okay, so we don't have any exponents to deal with, so that's good. So that means we can just start distributing, which is always a lot of fun. So we're going to distribute this negative 2x to the 5x and to the 3. You only distribute to the first binomial that it's touching. Okay, so negative 2 times the 5 will give us negative 10x squared. Negative 2 times the 3 gives us negative 6x. And then I just bring down the x plus 2. Now I can distribute all of this together. Now remember, if you feel like I'm going too fast, hit pause, rewind, okay? make sure you're getting all of this down. So we're going to distribute the 10x squared minus 6x and the x plus 2 together. So the 10x first. So negative 10x times x will give us negative 10x cubed. Because if I have x squared and I add another x to it, it gives me x cubed. And negative 10x squared times 2 will give me negative 20x squared. Now to distribute the negative 6x, negative 6x times x gives us negative 6x squared. And negative 6x times 2 gives us negative 12x. Now we just need to combine like terms. We'll have negative 10x cubed. Negative 20x squared minus 6x squared gives me negative 26x squared. And I just bring down that negative 12x. All right, so now I'm not going to forget, we're going to classify. By degree is the largest exponent. So our largest exponent here is a 3. And if you remember from our last set of notes, that's going to be cubic. And then we have 1, 2, 3 terms. So once again, we have a trinomial. All right, last one, number 4. We have negative 2 times x plus 2 squared plus 4. Guys, I'm telling you right now, this one right here is one you will definitely see on a quiz or a test. It's quite a few steps, okay, and it makes you use a lot of skills, so this is one you'll definitely see again. So we have an exponent, so we have to deal with that first. So we just keep that negative 2 up front. We'll have x plus 2 times x plus 2, and I just bring down the plus 4. From here, we're going to distribute the negative 2. So that'll give me negative 2 times x gives me negative 2x. Negative 2 times 2 gives me negative 4. Now I just bring down the rest of the problem. Now from here, we have to distribute all of this stuff together. So the negative 2x, and then we'll distribute the negative 4. So negative 2x times x gives us negative 2x squared. Negative 2x times 2 gives me negative 4x. Negative 4 times x gives me negative 4x. And negative 4 times 2 gives me negative 8. And then I just bring down the plus 4. And then final step, we're going to combine some like terms. So that 2x squared just hangs out up front. Negative 4x minus 4x gives me negative 8x. And then negative 8 plus 4 gives me negative 4. Classifying that by degrees, largest exponent. So that's going to be quadratic because my exponent is a 2. And number of terms, I have 1, 2, 3 terms. So that's a trinomial once again. All right, if you have any questions, please make sure you're asking. If not, you can move on to your assignment.